Hello everybody, my name is Ryan or MandRproductions, and welcome to Ask MandRproductions episode number 25, the series where you can ask me questions in the comment section below and I will answer them. I am feeling a little bit under the weather today, so there won't be one of those flashy intros that I usually do. However, I did want to mention that I was on Just Too Good's podcast the other day, and you can check that out with the link down in the description below. There's about an hour interview with me, and we just kind of talk and, talk about anything LEGO related and stuff, so you can check that out, link in the description below. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that after this video, of course. So if you guys have a question that you want me to answer, particularly possibly next week, go ahead and leave in the comment section down below. If you enjoy the video, of course, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Guys, I also do want to mention that my TIE Fighter stack did get a little bit taller. I went ahead and put on my other TIE Fighter on top of the 2012 TIE Fighter, so now we have 5 TIE Fighters over there, and then when we get the Han Solo TIE Fighter, that'll add on even more to the TIE Fighter stack, so the stack grows. Getting right into it here with the first question from William. He says, what would you like to see LEGO do if they could acquire the NFL license? Well, I think that Oyo is actually doing a great job with the NFL license. I think the problem with LEGO and NFL is that LEGO doesn't quite have the same movement as far as like joints on the minifigures as Oyo has done with their custom-made minifigures. So I know Oyo is like fake LEGO, I suppose, but they're doing something different, so I don't quite consider it fake LEGO in the same vein as Lepin is literally fake LEGO. So I like what Oyo is doing. I have a few of the Oyo minifigures, and I really wouldn't want to see LEGO get the NFL license. I just think Oyo's doing a fine job with it. I think if LEGO did, I think like a minifigure series would be fine, but I just don't see much that LEGO could do that Oyo isn't already doing. In that same vein, Kylo Brick says, if a LEGO sports team would return, what sets would you want? Like a Patriots Lost set. And I was just like, you really led me on with that one, so I had to give you this. So if LEGO was to make a LEGO sports team, I think they did soccer about 15 years ago, and that was actually really cool. They also did basketball, which was really nice. Ice hockey wouldn't really work with LEGO. Football wouldn't really work with LEGO. Baseball wouldn't really work with LEGO. So I think they would have to go to basketball or soccer or football. Football, again. I think soccer is really popular across the world, so I think that would be the most likely thing to see return, especially seeing as they've done some soccer things more recently. I think they did like a full team minifigure series over in Europe, so you guys could definitely, I could definitely see them doing a soccer series again as it continues to grow more popular in America too. I could definitely see it happening. As far as the other sports, again, Oyo has kind of wrapped all that up. They've taken all the licenses for all like the 4 major sports in America, so Oyo's got that one unlocked for a little while. I think LEGO should definitely do something with soccer though. I think sports are an amazing thing like for our world, and I think LEGO should definitely be encouraging kids to play sports and buy sports related toys, I suppose. The Awesome Chewbacca says, do you like LEGO alternative builds? And for some of you guys who may not know, LEGO used to put on their boxes or in the back of the instruction booklets some alternative builds that they had built with the parts from the set that you've just purchased. Now, usually they didn't provide instructions for these alternative builds, but it was just kind of a cool idea of the creative process and gave you like a cool insight to what some of the designers have built with some of the exact same parts that you're looking at. So I think in particular, one of the examples I can think of is with the Jabba's Palace set, or rather the Jabba Sail Barge set from 2006. They also created on the back of the box or in the instruction booklet like a little pirate ship, and they also had like a Jabba's Palace version out of that. So I think I'll show you guys those on screen. You'll understand what I'm talking about. They also did it with the TIE Fighter back in the day, the 2005 TIE Fighter. They've done it with a lot of the older models, and they don't really do it anymore. So I'd like to see it come back. I would like to see some of that original creativity that made LEGO so great kind of come back with some of the alternative builds. Our next question comes from ASAP Animation, and he says, what Star Wars story do you want to see in a movie? Well, I think the most rumored one right now is an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, and I think that would be wonderful. I think that's something that Disney should definitely do. Like, that's like printing money, essentially. I don't see why they wouldn't. Everyone wants it to happen. Ewan McGregor is ready for it, you know what I mean? Like, it needs to happen, so I would love to see an Obi-Wan movie taking place, probably between episodes 3 and 4 when he's kind of in hiding. Hopefully he's doing something interesting, or maybe a little bit more of his backstory, but we don't really want Obi-Wan as a kid, so we'll go with between episodes 3 and 4. And then also, I would love to see an Old Republic movie. I think the Old Republic is something that Disney should definitely explore. I think it's something that a lot of people are really into, big Star Wars fans, and I think it's something that would also appeal to the masses, kind of going way back in the past of Star Wars and looking at the relics and like, I don't know, I think that could be a really cool concept as well. Like the origins of the Jedi maybe come out of that. I have no idea. I don't really know too much about the Old Republic. I just know that there were some cool LEGO sets from it, but I think it would be really cool to see a movie for. Next up from DP Studios, he says, if you could, would you switch from being a YouTuber YouTuber to a Lego designer? I don't think so. I think I would stay being a Lego YouTuber as opposed to a Lego designer. I like doing this so much, and I think it also stems from that I'm not that great of a builder particularly. Like, I can build the sets no problem, but like I can't really like I couldn't just create a motorized AT-AT out of thin air, you know? Like, I mean, maybe if I was a designer and I had spent time actually learning how to design products and, you know, learning techniques and everything, then maybe that would be more appealing to me. But, you know, Lego designer is like obviously a dream job. Like, who wouldn't want to be a Lego set designer? But it's also like I probably wouldn't be that great at it, so like I'll just stick to being a Lego YouTuber and actually just buying the sets. Like, that's perfectly fine with me. I like it. I like what I do now. I would not be a good Lego designer, at least in my current state. I have not learned that many good building techniques. I would just be like, I'd take the old model and then I'd like add a few pieces on and be like, oh, here's the new set, guys. So I don't know. Lego designer probably not for me. Lego YouTuber probably for me. Comment of the week comes from Lily Faye, and they say, why did Anakin Skywalker cross the road to get to the dark side? That's pretty dark because he kills all the Padawans too. That's sad. Javier or Xavier, I don't know how to say your name exactly, Soren says, who inspired you to make Lego YouTube videos? So the people that I really watched in the Lego community back in the early days, 2008, 2009, were Lego Boy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, who is now Solid Brick Studios. I also watched a lot of Pizza Movies, who did stop motions, and I don't really watch his stuff anymore because he doesn't make stuff anymore. I miss Pizza Movies so much. I think I watched Just Super 9. He made like Lego stop motions as well, and I also watched a little bit of Michael MGF. I remember watching him when I was really young as well. So there's like the main people that kind of inspired me to make Lego YouTube videos, I guess, and it's been quite a journey since then. It's been almost 10 years since I started YouTube, so that's pretty crazy. Lego Clone 123 says, what was the worst thing you did to your Lego as a child? Sharpie, melting Lego, etc. So it's definitely gonna be the Sharpie thing. I Sharpied quite a few Lego Star Wars Clone Troopers, and some people, you know, you look back and you're like, man, I wish I didn't Sharpie those Clone Troopers. But for me, it was like a learning experience. Of course, I wish I didn't Sharpie them, but it's like, I don't know. It's something like at the time you're like, oh, I really want to make this airborne trooper, and it's like, oh, this looks so cool, and it's like, no, it doesn't. It looks like trash. It's like, yeah, it does. It's like, I don't know. I Sharpied quite a few Clone Troopers. I made like 7 Sharpied Galactic Marines, which I still have, and I actually think they look pretty decent, honestly. I mean, come on. These are my Sharpie Galactic Marines. They look so cool. They actually look really good. Okay, they're Sharpie. They look really good, my butt, but come on. Lego didn't make a Galactic Marine, so I had to make something. I think I made these in like 2011 too, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 right here, and I think I have a couple more maybe laying around in other places, but I know I have at least 6. I have them right here that I give them the dark gray legs. They look really cool. I love the Galactic Marine. I wish Lego had made a Galactic Marine. I also bought the Clone Army Customs one this most recent summer at Berkeley, Chicago, but definitely Sharpieing my Clone Troopers, or Snow Troopers in this case, was my worst decision, but I don't really regret these. I think they look pretty cool. TBP22 says, MandRproductions, will you do some Lego giveaways? Yes, I've been talking about doing this for a long time, and you know what? Let's start small right now. If you leave a question on this week's video for next week, one of you will win one of these First Order Heavy Assault Walkers, so I'll announce it at the very beginning of next week's Ask MandRproductions, and one of you guys will be winning one of these, and I'll be shipping it off to you. I'll contact you to get your address and stuff, so make sure like you're all squared away from that. Your parents don't mind you giving me your address so I can actually ship this to you, so if you win, make sure you can do that. You know, don't get in trouble with your parents or anything if you're underage, I suppose, but yeah, one of you guys will win one of these. Paul says, will you buy the Harry Potter sets when they come out? And I don't know if I talked about this last week. I think I talked about it on the Just Too Good podcast, actually. But yes, I will be buying some of the Harry Potter sets, if not all of them. Harry Potter is something I've always liked. I've seen all the movies, except for the prequel. I think they made a prequel like a year ago, and I did not see it. But I think the Harry Potter series is really interesting. I've always loved it. I didn't buy a ton of the Lego sets back when they were first coming out, you know, throughout the early 2000s, because, you know, I spent all my money on Star Wars, as you can tell. But now I have a little bit more disposable income, I suppose, and I do want to spend some of that money on Harry Potter sets. So I think Harry Potter sets are going to be really cool. I think you guys will enjoy seeing me review some of them. Lucas wants to know how tall I am, and there's only one way to find out. So let's go ahead and measure up here. We'll start at the feet. Just keep measuring, keep measuring, keep measuring, keep measuring. Looks like we're at about, what's that, 7 foot 7 inches right there. 7 foot 7 inches, so that's about how tall I am. 7 foot 7. I'm just kidding. I'm actually like 5'11". Beaver Builder says, what is the most underpriced Lego set? And I'll do it with the sets that are currently out, because if I just go back in time, we're not accounting for inflation or anything. So sets currently available on Lego.com. Most underpriced, best value set. I would say like the YWing that you can see right there is like a really good value. 691 pieces for only $60, and I think it's actually a really good build too. I think that's one of the best value sets you can get right now. I think also the BB-8 for $100 is a pretty good value, and you can actually get it it for just $80 at a lot of different Walmarts. They have it on a rollback for 80 bucks, so that's another great value Lego set. So those are a couple of the most underpriced Lego sets available right now. I'm going to be doing a video much like I did on the most overpriced Lego sets, but on the most underpriced, or I don't know how I'm going to title it yet, but something opposite of most overpriced Lego sets like I did last week for a top 10 video. Chinop says, what is the worst minifigure you own? And well, because you didn't specify Lego, I'll show you the worst minifigures I own. It's hard to pick one because they're all just so bad, but any of these fake Lego minifigures that I purchased off eBay are probably the worst that I own. They're just terrible. I don't want to, I think I answered this, like the worst minifigure I own is like Jar Jar Binks as like a joke, but like I don't know. Most Lego minifigures are pretty okay. Some of the older ones, you know, were before they were updated were pretty bad, but I think the fake minifigures are definitely the worst minifigures that I own, since you didn't say Lego, so fake figs. Hobo Joe 2016 says, who would win in the fight between Count Dooku, Darth Maul, and Kylo Ren? This is really interesting. I like all three of these characters very much. They all have very unique lightsabers. Count Dooku, of course, with his very unique lightsaber hilt. Darth Maul with the double-bladed lightsaber. And Kylo Ren with, like, the T-shaped lightsaber design. So, three very unique different fighting styles as well. I would probably go with Kylo Ren just because he's got 3 blades on his lightsaber. Count Dooku with only 1 blade and Darth Maul with 2. So, Kylo Ren probably going to win that one. But, man, that would be a really cool battle to see. Mr. Duar says, have you ever watched Ninjago and what is your opinion on it? Well, simple answer is no, I've never watched Ninjago. I'm not really the target audience for Ninjago. I don't really ever plan on watching Ninjago. It's not my thing. Dylan says, what do you think of a remade TIE Bomber? I would love to see a TIE Bomber remake. I think I mentioned this in my top 10 or top 15 Lego Star Wars sets that need to be remade, and this is definitely one that is so overdue. The last version was released in 2003, and that's been 15 years now, so a new TIE Bomber would just be wonderful. Maybe we'll see it in the Han Solo movie and we'll finally get one, but who knows, man, who knows? There's obviously this awesome mock that's been going around, but obviously not a real Lego set, unfortunately, so maybe in the future. Mr. Nuggleton says, how long does it take you to edit your videos and what software do you use to do so? So software I use is just iMovie. For editing my videos, like an Ask MandRproductions might take me like 3 hours to edit, just to edit, and then I have to like render it out, upload it, do the tags and title and everything, and that's a pain in the butt, but editing videos takes quite a while too. So like 3 hours for an Ask MandRproductions. If I do a Lego review, it could take me, you know, 15 to 30 minutes to edit that. For other videos like building Hoth, maybe like 30 minutes to edit. It just depends on how much footage I have and how much extra I have to add to the video. Like with Ask MandRproductions, I have to add pictures in like all the time, so that actually takes a lot more time than you would think. And you know, editing just takes a while. So if you look at like the time a video is, so like if this video is 20 minutes long, it probably took me like 5 times that amount of time to edit the video. So it takes quite a while. Will Lego Mock says, which one of the new Star Wars movies, The Force Awakens, Rogue One, or The Last Jedi, deserves a UCS set the most, and what set would it be? So I'm actually working on a video for this weekend that you guys are going to see called Lego Star Wars UCS set ideas. So a little spoiler for my video coming out this weekend. And actually in this video I talk about a couple sets from these movies that could possibly be made into UCS sets. And the 2 suggestions I have are the YWing and the Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter. Now the YWing obviously being probably the most iconic ship from Rogue One, and the Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter being the most iconic ship from The Last Jedi, in my opinion. I think Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter would work because they have made Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. You see that right there. So why not make a UCS Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter? I think it would look really cool. Obviously, there are some very nice mocks of both these sets out there, so those are definitely 2 ones that I would love to see Lego make in UCS. And our final question comes from Xander, and he says, Dear M&R, why do you think the Clone Wars Y-Wing and the original Y-Wing look so different? Also, which one do you prefer of the choices up above? So they obviously look different because they're from like 30 or 40 years apart. Like there was an obvious design choice by the team that made the Clone Wars to make it look different, and you know, I think it was interesting for them to bring the Y-Wing into the Clone Wars because I thought it was such a unique design to the original trilogy, and then they brought it into the Clone Wars. So they look different because they made them look different. Like I don't know how else to explain that, you know what I mean? But the other thing is I would definitely choose the original trilogy Y-Wing over the Clone Wars Y-Wing. I just love that original Y-Wing design so much. It's so nice. It's one of my favorite designs in Star Wars, like the AT-AT, the Y-Wing, a lot of those classics, the TIE Fighter just looks so cool to me. So the Y-Wing from the original trilogy over the Clone Wars all day, every day. That is going to conclude this week's Ask MandRproductions. If you guys did enjoy, of course, leave a like. If you have a question for next week's episode, of course, leave it in the comment section down below. Or if you have a comment that you're going to try to make a funny joke and get comment of the week, go ahead and leave that down there below. Also, remember, you could win one of these First Order Heavy Assault Walkers. Well, it's a mini First Order Heavy Assault Walker. If you have a comment down below, I'll be picking a winner and announcing it at the beginning of next week's video, so make sure you do enter that. You guys, thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.